All right, we're back. We survived the 30-minute wait. We've got. Oh, they took the timer off.
It's
10, oh,
4. Oh.
Right. 7,
Here we go.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We did it.
I think you're a tiny bit behind me, but that's
I'm like
okay.
2 seconds behind you, but that's fine. Not worth messing with it. There's not. I don't think there's any like crazy reveals they can do here.
What can true Yarans do to serve Yara?
No, probably not.
True Yarans have long memories. We remember.
Ryan, this might be an open world game.
A Far Cry being an open world game? No, I don't believe that. Looks good. I like this
Are
environment.
you concerned?
Oh, yeah.
about the terroristas who call themselves Libertad?
Oh, there he is. There's our boy.
I like this song.
Bumping.
You're an orphan, see? Why do you want to run? Remember, Danny, Castillo has kept you an orphan.
I only see you. So why are you here?
I watched Castillo order a whole boat of our people shot to death. And I want to know
Are there going to be
if Wyatt
cutscenes
has
with
been
your
taken
character in it?
down.
Like,
I'd be down for that.
Okay.
So long as they don't go
'Cause we don't-
overboard.
yeah. Because the silent protagonist in Far Cry 5 drove me nuts.
Dude, I hate it. Especially after like 3 and 4 having character.
You can
Yeah.
shoot,
Especially 3.
so shoot.
Like something people I think really liked about 3 is it having a defined character.
With an arc.
Right.
Everything got another purpose.
Turns out people enjoy having endings and beginnings to their story.
It's bizarre.
I would never expect. Was that like a rocket backpack? What is
Ryan,
that?
is this their gameplay? Are we not going to see just straight gameplay?
I think this is the hype trailer.
Okay.
The gameplay hype trailer. Because this looks like a lot of gameplay just through the lens of we don't have UI, we don't have a lot of stuff. I'm wondering if we're just going to get one protagonist, not like the gender options. I'm okay with that.
I usually prefer that because then they can kind of tailor their dialogue to whoever you're playing as a little bit more, which I like.
Yeah, I get people who want the choice, but I
Oh, no, I
totally
get
fine
it,
with
I
just
get it.
having like female protagonist. Especially because there's been a trend recently where the female protagonists are always voiced better.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, here he is.
Hi
Here's our
there.
boy.
I'm Navid Khavari, narrative director of Far Cry 6, and I'm so excited to represent our team and finally show you our game in action. With Far Cry 6, we're going to throw you into our most ambitious open world yet, Yara, an island deep in the heart of the Caribbean, filled with rich tropical ecosystems alongside decaying urban landscapes. Yara is an
Ooh,
island
some
of
urban stuff in Far
contrasts.
Cry. That'll be fun.
Isolated and frozen in time,
You don't
for
usually
over
get
50
that.
years after a violent revolution cut it off from the rest of the world, it now finds itself on the verge of collapse.
It's got
Last year, we
bodegas.
introduced you to Yara's Presidente, Anton Castillo, with an amazing performance by Giancarlo Esposito.
And just having Esposito, what a great start to a villain. He's fantastic.
The
Yeah, I want to
reception
see
we've had
Esposito
to
play like a
Anton
nice old
Diego
man in a
has
game.
been incredible.
Just like a nice,
And not
a nice
an
boy.
asshole. And not an
Anton is a
asshole.
man
Yeah.
hell-bent on returning Yara to his idea of its former glory. And while his motivations are far more complex than they seem, the cost of his vision will be paid in blood.
I don't think we're gonna get that here, Ryan.
Dog
I don't know. Just a thought.
refuses to work. And we must put them down.
To achieve his dream for Yara and his son Diego, Anton has clamped down on freedoms, instituted brutal social reforms, and cast anyone who speaks out against
So a Far
him
Cry
into
villain.
forced
Yeah,
labor.
Far Cry villain.
Oppression of
We
the
got it.
common people has pushed the island to the brink of revolution.
I always love with
theory
the
is
when the
no
narrative directors are
revolution.
here like really trying to push their
Yara,
narrative,
once considered a
and then it's just
jewel
like,
of
but
the
this is
Caribbean,
Far Cry. Like
is now a powder
we know what to
keg.
expect by this point.
But I mean,
Or the
in terms
match.
of Ubisoft stories, they always have
Your
great
name is Danny
villains
Rojas.
and like
Exactly, but like I don't.
interesting aspects.
They
to the
usually
story.
can't talk about the interesting stuff because
Born
it's
and raised in
spoilers.
Yara's
Like I think when
capital
he
city,
said this
you're a young
guy's got interesting
military
motivations,
dropout who
he's
wants
hinting
nothing
at
to
stuff,
do with
but
Anton or
you
the
can't
Oh, I'm sure he
actually-
does, but
You
don't
just
talk
wanna
about it
get
here. I don't want to know.
yeah, I don't want to know that.
Once you're face to face with Anton's brutality, you realize that the only
I dig
chance
this
to
character
live
design,
free
though.
is to lead an army of
got a
guerrillas
backpack.
into a new revolution.
No, all these
yeah, I love
characters
my-
The island at
got
stake.
some cool
I need you
styles.
here with us, man.
Oh, okay.
At the
They
start
do
of your
have
journey, you'll get to pick your identity,
male or female choice.
customize your look while you navigate the ranks.
Oh, it's got
of the
character
guerrilla
creation
movement.
too.
Every aspect of
So the
game
face
has been
character is
developed
just the
with
female
goal to
protagonist.
make
Well,
you
5 had
a guerrilla fighter,
customization.
battling an
Yeah, but 5
asymmetrical
was
war
weird.
against Anton and his army. The guerrilla
Like you
fantasy
said, it
of
was
all
silent
have
protagonist,
making one
so-
guerrilla.
Yeah.
A little bit of a
What?
different
Is
situation.
wait, what was
Craziness
that?
Was at the core of how we crafted our gameplay.
Looked like a ray
This
gun.
is like,
world
are we getting
and the
biomutant
characters you'll
weapons?
meet along the way.
Far Cry.
In Yara, you'll find other gorillas, black market dealers,
I'm already more
and
interested.
everyday Yarans who each have their own
my God, that
reasons for
Daction.
joining the cause, including our friendly gorilla Juan Cortez,
Oh, it's a flame.
a master of invention, an architect of revolution. He's our gorilla teacher,
Gorilla teacher, great.
and class starts.
See, when he said in class starts now, I thought we were going to go to actual gameplay for a second.
Oh, so did I.
Oh, maybe.
Come on, give us some details.
Rule 16. A guerrillero's revolution never ends. Always another war, another cantina, another ugly bartender.
Juan Cortez,
What?
What do you think gave it away, Wapo?
this is a fucking waste of time.
Oh my God.
What?
Nah, you can't.
You know that's gotta be like a companion, right?
Yeah, they in Far Cry 5 they had a bear named Cheeseburger.
Not bad, Danny. But we're just getting started. Rule number 1. A good guerrilla is a hidden guerrilla.
Muerto el perro, se acabó la rabia.
We lead our operations in secret.
Will this game have
across the
third-person parts to it?
continent. Here,
Looks like it might be third person when you're in the camps, like chilling.
Like a Destiny Tower situation.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that, personally.
Yeah.
Maybe it is
It's
just
kinda
like
nice.
third person when you're in conversation sometimes. which
Well,
I'm
that's
okay with.
that's maybe when you're buying new customization stuff, so they want you to see your character, which I can kind of understand.
Even do-it-yourself vehicles. You're gonna love it, Danny. Rule number 2. A good guerrilla masters their
Ooh,
environment.
I'm liking the look of this urban area.
Land is your home,
Yeah.
Danny. I'm sure you
It adds a lot more variety to the open world, which
Yeah.
is nice.
bloodthirsty.
Oh, I love like open world urban areas when you can get like the camps and like the vertical buildings and whatnot. Those are a lot of fun.
Friendly capital city.
Horseback, I'm here for it.
That's why I really want to see another urban Assassin's Creed.
Take our
Yeah.
secret paths carved in the dirt of old revolutions. Hola, Danny.
How you doing?
I still wanna see UI.
Was that a drum mag on a pistol?
Hey, sometimes you need a drum mag on a pistol.
That's great.
Sabotage, interceptions. You don't always need to be a loudmouth, Danny.
Christmas trees? Do you even grow those here?
Yeah, this is giving me more Far Cry 2 vibes than 4 or 5.
Well, because it's partially because it's a tropical environment.
Yeah, it's tropical environment and it looks a little bit more
Number 3.
crazy DIY stuff.
Situations call for fucked up solutions.
Hey, he's not here.
If you expected reinforcements, I got news for you. You're an army of one against an army of thousands. And when shit gets real,
Wait, I'm sorry. What was that?
whatever
Did she cauterize a wound by smoking a
Yeah,
cigar?
I think so. I think she did.
absolutely
That was awesome.
That's one of the most action movie things I've seen.
I love that.
Oh, these weapons are good.
motorcycle engines have been built into
They kind of remind me of like Wolfenstein weapons.
Oh, motorcycle engine minigun? Hell yeah.
very unique.
A disc launcher?
That's pretty good. This is almost like Saints Row 3 style
Now
of weapon design.
this
Give us some crazy stuff.
This looks a lot goofier than 5, which is cool. Oh, it's got some like special, like zooms out to third person for like some special ability stuff.
I'm down for that.
That's
a neat evolution for Far Cry stuff.
Interesting.
It's totally possible that I'll hate it in the game, but I can get down with the idea of it.
These weapons are insane.
I love all of it. They've shown a lot of them too, and they all look really fun. Fireworks launcher.
Okay.
Oh, and the final rule. A good guerrilla always brings a friend along for
Wyatt.
moral support.
Wyatt.
So there you have it.
Game of the year.
Far Cry 6
We found it already.
Available on October 7th on PC. And
No, Game of the Year already came out. It's called Biomutant.
This first glimpse of gameplay.
I don't know, man. Does it have adaption in
Thank you so
a
much.
wheelie?
No, but it has a trumpet shotgun.
This had a fireworks launcher.
And it's CD launcher.
All right, I think we did it. What's impressions, Wyatt? What are you thinking after our 10-minute little gameplay reveal?
Well, gameplay.
Quote unquote gameplay.
As both of us have said before, we didn't see like straight up gameplay with UI, so you know, not great. But the weapons look really cool. I'm liking the looks of a lot of them. There's a lot of personality. I love cauterizing a wound with a cigar.
Very Far Cry.
I think, I think what sometimes Ubisoft games struggle with is like having a personality, and I feel like with the weapons and your little companions and the cigar thing, it gives a lot of personality, which is nice. Yeah, it looks like pretty. It looks like Far Cry, but I'm
Wyatt.
fine with that.
You just got
Wyatt, we get to go back to it. Look,
what happened?
They're playing the game.
Wait, what?
They're playing the game. They just did it after the reveal.
Wait, where?
Good.
What?
Happy
What are you talking about?
On the Ubisoft Twitch stream.
So exciting. I cannot get over the Macarena gun. I'm sorry.
I was on YouTube.
This is such a Ubisoft. What is going on with your format?
Far Cry 6's narrative director Naveed Khavari. Naveed, thank you so much for joining.
Oh no, I think they're playing 5. It looks like.
Oh yeah, that's 5.
You know, interesting. It's interesting. At least they're talking about gameplay. I think they're using this as an example. All right, we'll not watch the Far Cry 5 gameplay because we don't need to watch the Far Cry 5 gameplay. Yeah. But I think overall impressions, at least on my end, and I tend to be the one that's a little bit more harsh on Far Cry. I think I don't tend to give it as much leeway as a lot of other people in general.
Why is that? I'm curious.
Just because, like, I'm a fan of the camps that you go and clear and whatnot, but I don't like that being the only part of the game that's like really engaging. And Far Cry 5 especially had that problem of like the open world stuff is fun, but there's nothing else to really keep you there. Like the narrative is incoherent and just weird. It gets in the way of the game. Like Far Cry 5 specifically is the one that just didn't click with me because it didn't mesh well.
It's that Ubisoft open world storytelling where there isn't one central story. It's more 3 or 4 or 5 like individual stories that then lead up to a conclusion, but they're all kind of separate, you know? Because it's always based off of the enemy in the region.
With that idea of design, I just don't like the way that like 5 interrupts what you're doing with story that kind of forces you out of things. And it just takes a lot of the agency away from the player. I think it's specifically 5, not like 3 or 4 don't have that problem, but 5 has so many issues of like when the best ending to your game is you just leave at the start of the game and don't play the rest of the game, you've got a problem.
Yeah, I think
that's a legit issue.
I think they're trying to like make some kind of commentary, but it's just annoying.
Because Far Cry's not the series to make that commentary. Like.
No, not at all.
If you're gonna make a social commentary game, I think generally it needs to be either relegated to be part of a larger game that's still a game, or it needs to be like a one-off thing and not that. Like, Far Cry 2 kind of did some social commentary stuff, so did 3, but it was never the forefront of what you're doing. Most of it is still you're playing a video game. Whereas 5 got a little bit above its pay grade. I think it started, like, pushing some things that probably were unnecessary.
What I will say, in terms of, like, the open world design, they got rid of the radio towers. They even made fun of radio towers at the very beginning, if you remember. You had to climb one radio tower in the entire game, and the guy was like, "Don't worry, I'm not going to make you climb radio towers all day."
Look,
I thought that was kind of funny.
You know, I like climbing radio towers.
I don't mind it either. Honestly,
I think I think that's them taking the wrong statement from people and being like, okay, the problem is that there are radio towers. No, the problem is that you're spreading everything so thin that there's so many of them you have to do, and most of them are really boring. But like, if you make every radio tower a unique thing that's like an actual challenge of like trying to figure out how to do it, like Breath of the Wild does, if you have these different towers that you have to like approach from different angles, even though they're the same thing like 10 times, it's still not too much.
Yeah, and what I told myself was, like, if Valhalla didn't learn the lessons that Odyssey did, where you really need to shrink down your open world, I think just Ubisoft is not going to let up in that area, and their worlds are just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. So now I've kind of accepted the fact that they're not really going to change that.
Well, the size is not what bothers me. It's just that they don't fill it with interesting things.
Which would be sorted if they made them shorter.
Scope down a bit, but
yeah,
that's not going to happen. So,
but also it's this idea, and a lot of people have said this before, and I completely agree. Where it's, if an area is smaller, if your open world is smaller, you get to know each individual space more because you're utilizing it more. Like, that was one thing that I liked about Days Gone, is that there are some areas in the game that you return to a lot, and you kind of know the spaces a lot more. You're not just moving on to the next. I
mean, my favorite open world in any game is Yakuza's Kamurocho, and that is literally like 5 blocks by 5 blocks of a city. It's tiny by relative standards, but the space is so well utilized, and you learn like every single shop is like a place in the world that you can actually go look at, and you can walk inside most of them and go see things. So there's a ton of care put into making sure that like small space is very engaging to be in. So. And
you know, who knows? Maybe who knows too? Maybe after Immortals after that has come out, and that had much better open world design than most Ubisoft games, just in terms of how they utilize their space and how it's much smaller. Hopefully, they'll take what they learned from that and not Valhalla. But
yeah, all right. I think we've already gotten off topic from the Far Cry reveal, so I think we can cut our Far Cry reveal talk here. I mean, biggest complaint, we didn't see UI. So that's always
or
my
just
biggest
straight
thing.
Up gameplay, just like
we saw
up.
Cinematized gameplay.
This is not a gameplay reveal. Stop calling it a gameplay reveal.
It's technically a gameplay reveal. The best kind of reveal is technically we saw gameplay. I do like the new backpacks. Look pretty sweet.
Yep. The weapons look cool. Like I said, I feel like there's a lot of personality here with the cigar and the different weapons and stuff like that. If the CD player actually plays out tracks while you're playing, and it switches up the tracks when you reload and when you fire different CDs, that's going to be really fun.
Yeah. I think they chose a good setting too. Of like, I feel like part of Far Cry 5's misstep was also that it was a little too close to home for the main audience, and some of it ended up being taken in a way that's just not productive to conversation, and I think distracted from what the game actually is.
The setting makes sense for the kind of villains they set up and kind of what they were trying to say, but it's not the most.
It doesn't feel very Far Cry.
Interesting. It's not the most interesting location. Like, I think of, Far Cry 4 was really cool and interesting. I mean, Primal was,
Far Cry 4, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad to see more tropical environments and more stuff that I think most people who will be playing these games are not experienced with. Unless like just rolling hills, as pretty as the rolling hills can be.
They were just kind of hills.
Yeah, just rolling hills. Give me some weird waterfalls. It's gonna be great. All right, we did it. We're hitting like the perfect 20-minute mark. So we'll see everyone hopefully for the E3 hype podcast, and down the line the E3 actual coverage will be starting, and we'll do if we don't have live reactions up for every conference, we're gonna have discussions for all the conferences. We're gonna be doing some tier lists of conferences, all in good fun, except not because EA is gonna probably bring in the E tier pretty solidly. So excited about that. All right. Any closing comments about Far Cry, Wyatt?
No.
All right, great.
I was trying to.
That's
I was
the
trying to come up
expression
with
I was
something
expecting.
funny, and I couldn't do it.
It's not Biomutant, so 0 out of 10.